Hello everybody and welcome back to The Winning Agenda. My name's Jesse Muleman Marshall. It's been a really exciting beta launch week so far. We've got some gameplay videos, some deck techs up on the channel, and today what I want to do is take you through some of my favorite cards that I've opened from beta so far to show you some of the new things, some of the artwork that you might not have seen before, some of the fantastic new avatars in foil, as well as a very special surprise of a Curio card that I was lucky enough to open in beta. So without further ado, let's take a dive in. So the first card that I wanted to showcase today is the new art for Death Dealer. So you can see on the left there, obviously the existing Frank Frazetta artwork, very iconic. And on the right is the new Brian Smith artwork that captures, I think, the essence of Death Dealer as a card and its effect very, very well. So it's sort of, it's got the same shadowy figure. Rather than riding a horse, it's riding this rather scary looking demon. I really like the color composition, lots of orange, red, fits really well with the fire element identity. And I think captures some of the essence of the original Frank Frazetta artwork whilst bringing Brian Smith's very unique style. So very much enjoy the Death Dealer. And still got the Frank Frazetta reference in the flavor text. So as with the original alpha version, it still says, "With frank hands, the Dark Traveler laid waste to all who came before him." So yeah, a nice one there in Death Dealer. The second Frank Frazetta art, so I'm going to go through the three that weren't spoiled. So obviously we saw the Courtesan Thais original painting reveal from Drew Tucker, so I haven't got that one here in the showcase. We've got all the other Frank Frazetta artwork replacements, which haven't really been revealed as much throughout the lead up to the beta release. So the next one we've got is Ruler of Thule. This one, Vincent Pompetti, the new one on the right-hand side. Of course, that original iconic Frazetta artwork on the left as well with the polar bears and the chariot. And on the right, we've got the polar bears in the background. So Vincent has captured a lot of the essence of the original again. On the left-hand side in the Frazetta artwork, it's kind of a little bit unclear whether we've got mountains or clouds poking out the top there. I think it is actually mountains poking out from behind a cloud of sort of water vapor or snow haze that's being emitted out the back of this person's chariot. And on the right-hand side, we've got that icy glacial looking mountain there in the background as well, which looks spectacular in Vincent's new artwork. Similar figure, obviously one of the things that Eric loves in sorcery cards is having the figure that is being depicted, particularly for minions, being front and center. So again, we've got the Ruler of Thule here looking regal with crown and sword and cape and very nice woolly coat. And again, I think a beautiful new painting from Vincent Pompetti that captures the original Frank Frazetta artwork very well and pays homage to it whilst being something different. The third painting that I want to showcase is the Vile Imp replacement. So of course that Vile Imp on the left-hand side there, featuring the Frazetta artwork from Alpha, and then this new Vile Imp featuring artwork by Jeff Menges on the right-hand side. A very different take, probably the most different out of the three artworks, obviously working with the similar demon figure to what Frank Frazetta had in the left-hand side, but giving it a complete reimagining, facing forward rather than facing away in the Frazetta Alpha version, and far more emaciated looking than the rather muscly demon we have on the left-hand side there, capturing a bit more of the fire as well that the card effect has. I think this and Death Dealer for me capture a little bit more of the card effect and tie in really well with what the card actually does, and also the card frame. I think the new Vile Imp artwork looks really nice with the sorcery card frame over the top as well. So three really cool new replacements for the Frank Frazetta artworks. And then what I'm going to do next is showcase this Curio. So for those of you who don't know, Curios are very rare cards in the alpha and beta set. They're kind of homages to the development of sorcery, or in some cases like the trolls in the alpha set, little jokes that Eric has put in. This particular Curio that I've opened here is also an homage in itself to one of the alpha Curios. So in alpha, we had the self-same Simulacrum as a Curio because it's got a bit of for those of you familiar with MTG, the Vesuvan Doppelganger, two figures in the same artwork. And in beta, this Curio that I was lucky enough to open is a similar style of artwork, but it's the Adept Illusionist. So on the left-hand side, you can see the regular Adept Illusionist artwork. And on the right-hand side is the Curio. Now, I knew it was a Curio because it was an elite that appeared in an ordinary slot. So I thought, there's a very good chance this is a Curio, but it did take me quite a while to figure out and to confirm to myself that it was. And there are a few little telltale signs. So the first one is the mouths of the two figures. I thought what they did in the Alpha Curio was invert the figures. So I was trying to figure out, have they actually inverted the two figures in this artwork? So if you look at the mouth of the left-hand figure in the original artwork, or the Alpha version, and then you look at the mouth of the right-hand figure, you can see that the left-hand figure it almost looks like the lips are sort of slightly open, or there's a bit more of a shadow on the lips, whereas the right-hand figure, it looks like the lips are more tightly pursed. Whereas in the Curio version, you can see that those figures' mouths are inverted. So it does look like the figures have been swapped. I thought to myself, that's not quite enough to confirm it. So one of the other differences, there aren't many differences between the two figures. One of the other differences is the hands. So in particular, the right hand of the right-hand figure is a little bit obscured by the smoke that they are conjuring. You can see that in the original version on the left there, the left-hand figure, its hand is not quite as obscured by the smoke. And if you look at the Curio version, it's more obscured. Now, this is obviously the most obvious, because I think those two telltale signs and the inversion of the artwork, it's so similar. Jeff Easley has made it so similar that it's actually quite hard to tell. So to make it a little bit clearer, Eric and the team have changed the type lines. So the non-Curio version is an elite mortal with duplicitous skills, whereas the Curio version is an elite mortal of duplicitous means, confirming that this is in fact a different card and a Curio. So it was very cool. I was very lucky to open this, very happy to have it. And yeah, it was a fun little puzzle to confirm to myself once I sort of suspected that I had a Curio, because I had a card that was the wrong rarity in the ordinary slot, confirming it by discovering all these little clues and then finally noticing the type line. Actually, it was my partner, because I was showing her the artwork and I was like, oh, it's interesting, it's flipped. And she was like, oh, that's actually different as well, the wording. And I was like, huh, this is the most obvious clue. But yeah, it was very cool to notice, and I wanted to share it all with you. So the next thing that I'm going to take you through is the foil versions of the elemental avatars in beta. This is my personal favorite of the new elemental avatars, the Wave Shaper, and it looks fantastic in foil. On the left-hand side is the front foil side, which, as with all of the avatars, in particular the blues and the teals on this, just looks absolutely gorgeous. And then on the right-hand side, the full art also just looks superb. Francesca Bayrol did the artwork for all of these avatars, the 4 new elemental avatars. She's done an absolutely outstanding job. They look really, really great in person. And that Wave Shaper just looks fantastic in the full art version there on the back of the foil. The next one is the Spark Mage. So this is the new air avatar. It's got, as with all kind of air and lightning cards, the lightning crackling in the background just looks really schmick in foil. And then the full art version, you get a bit of a better look at what it is that the Spark Mage is conjuring there, sort of pulling together a bit of a lightning storm ready to throw at an opponent. The third one is the Geomancer, and I love the colors on this as well. The kind of green and yellow and the browns really captures a lot of what the Earth card pool and the Earth element in Sorcery is all about. And on the right-hand side, the full art version, you just get that little bit more of the actual earthy vines and rocks and things coming up from beneath. And I think that looks fantastic as well. Being able to see the full composition that Francesca's put together. It has a beautiful balance about it, and it's got a lot going on actually towards the bottom of the card, which does get covered up by the text box. And the last one is, of course, the Flamecaller, which just captures, I think, everything that fire is about in Sorcery. It's got that beautiful flaming phoenix rising up behind the Flamecaller, summoning the smoke, the heat. You can sort of see the Flamecaller's robes are being melted and molded in terms of what you can see by the heat. You're getting that real sort of heat haze look about it. It's just fantastic. And certainly a bit of attitude coming there from the Flamecaller, and the beautiful full art version on the right looks fantastic as well. Now, this is an interesting one. This is 2 actually cards that have misprinted foil versions in beta. So on the right-hand side is the regular version of Blink in beta, and on the left-hand side there is the misprinted foil. And it seems to me that probably all of the foils are misprinted. because what seems to have happened is that somebody has mixed up, when they have put the foil masking layer on, they've mixed up the Blizzard and the Blink file because they're next to each other alphabetically. So you've got the artwork of Blink and the card text of Blink, but you've got the foil stamp layer of Blizzard, which means it's got the wrong mana cost because Blizzard costs 1 but Blink costs 2. It's got the wrong name, and it's also got the wrong type line. So it says an ordinary aura of forestalling frost, whereas of course Blink is an ordinary magic of tactical transmission. And I was lucky enough to also get the companion piece, the partner Blizzard, which is now Blink apparently in foil and beta. So on the right hand side there, we've got the regular beta version of Blizzard. And on the left, the misprinted foil version, which apparently costed extra mana, is called Blink and is an ordinary magic of tactical transmission. So I think this mimics one of Eric's. He did reference before the alpha set was put out how funny he found it, the Serendib Efreet and other misprints early on in MTG, and that if some of these things went wrong in Sorcery, it would actually just be a further homage to those early days of MTG. Well, Eric, you've managed to engineer a very similar misprint to the Serendib Efreet and the Hurricane in early MTG, and you've got the swapped Blizzard and Blink in beta, which just gives a little bit more character to beta foils. So I hope you enjoyed this showcase of some of my favorite beta cards that I've opened so far. It's been an absolute blast opening beta. These are some of the new artworks replacing the Frank Frazettas, the new avatars in foil, the Curio that I was lucky enough to open, that Adept Illusionist, and of course the misprinted Blink and Blizzard, which I thoroughly enjoy getting a laugh out of as well. And who knows, I think I might chuck that misprinted Blink in some of my decks that play Blink and have a bit of a chuckle every time I draw it. Hope you enjoyed the video and the rest of the beta content, and we'll have a box opening video up on the channel very soon as well, which I hope you enjoy as well. Take care.